Tim McGraw is opening up about how he almost ruined his career if it weren't for his beloved wife, Faith Hill. Tim McGraw just made a surprising confession about his rise to country music stardom, and by the time you hear what he revealed about the darkest period of his life, you'll realize his career could have gone in a completely different direction. The 58-year-old country superstar has been married to Faith Hill for nearly 3 decades, and most fans know them as one of Nashville's most powerful couples, who've conquered both music and Hollywood together. But what McGraw just shared on Tracy Lawrence's Roadhouse podcast reveals there was a time when his entire career was hanging by a thread. Let me paint you a picture of where Tim McGraw was before Faith Hill came into his life. This wasn't just a guy who liked to party a little too hard after shows. This was someone who was on a path that could have destroyed everything he'd worked for in country music. I was a wild man. I was having fun, McGraw said. But the way he said it makes it clear that having fun was actually code for something much more serious. We're talking about someone who was living without any boundaries, making decisions that could have ended his career before it really took off. And here's what makes this revelation so significant. McGraw has always been pretty private about his personal struggles. He's talked about getting sober before, but he's never been this direct about how bad things have gotten or how close he came to losing everything. The turning point came when he met Faith Hill, but it wasn't some instant fairy tale transformation. According to McGraw, Hill didn't just change his life, she literally saved it. And the way he describes what she did for him goes way beyond what you'd expect from the most supportive partner. Meeting my wife saved my life, McGraw said. She turned my life around. But it's what he said next that really hits you. Quote, "I couldn't have found a better woman, not only beautiful and talented, but just a good person." And it wasn't just about getting him to clean up his act. McGraw talks about Faith helping him to calm the demons inside of him. That's a pretty heavy phrase that suggests he was dealing with some serious internal battles that went far beyond just partying too hard. But the transformation didn't stop there. When their 3 daughters came along, Gracie, Maggie, and Audrey, McGraw says that experience took his personal growth to an entirely different level. He said, "Fatherhood changed everything about my life. It changed my perspective. It changed the way I thought about what my future would be. It certainly took me out of myself." Now here's where the story gets really interesting from a career perspective. Most artists worry that settling down and having a family will hurt their creativity or their connection with fans. But for McGraw, the opposite happened. Some of his biggest hits came after he got his life together with Faith. The Soul to Soul tours with Faith, he said when asked about his career highlight, for a couple of reasons. Because it's rare that people get to do that in the business, that a husband and wife got to go on tour at the pinnacle of their career and get to do stuff together. But here's where it really shows how much Faith elevated his artistry. More importantly, she makes me a better artist every time I have to sing with her. I think Faith, when you listen to her music and you listen to her albums, is probably one of the best singers in the world. But what makes Tim's recent confession so powerful is the contrast between where he was and where he ended up. This is someone who admits he was on a destructive path, who had demons he needed to quiet, and who was living as a wild man without any real direction. And now he's been married to the same woman for almost 30 years, raised 3 successful daughters, maintained one of the most respected careers in country music, and built a strong relationship with his fans. Let me know what you think down in the comments.